season in the league. Mustn't forget that Barcelona won all 6. So the respect thing is important.
I think it's so important. I think even gives you are given the opportunity to the players to step on the plate and show that they are capable enough to win games. And in this squad and in this team is so much quality that I think any manager can afford it.
I'm interested in your thoughts following Manuel Pellegrini, the decision to go with Bernd Schuster. A good appointment for you, for Malaga?
I think talking about Malaga is more important to talk about how many players they have lost. And I think no manager can make miracles. And I think at this moment Malaga, I cannot see them close to the level they shown last year, because they have lost players of the level of Isco, Joaquin, De Michelis, Toulalan, Saviola, and they have replaced with average players because they cannot spend money. In this case, I think more than talking about the manager, we should talk about the level they have dropped.
OK, well, the players have gone, you've mentioned. What about the players coming in? How can they hurt Barcelona?
I think to hurt Barcelona are only 2 ways, and especially one. First, we know that especially in the last years, the Barcelona game has evolved from the wings to the middle. And the teams that they have really played, that they have been able to stop the flow of the Barcelona game, they have been the ones like Spartak Moscow, Real Madrid, Betis, and
Celtic.
Few of them were allowing them to play from the wings because they don't want, and I don't know why, but they carry on playing from the middle. And second, being so really aggressive when Iniesta and Xavi, they go to receive to the channels.
Cesc Fabregas is in. He didn't play in the Supercopa. He was man of the match last week against Levante. How big a game is this for him? And do you think that they can fit in Messi, Neymar and Cesc Fabregas?
I think the only way of fit him is taking off Pedro. Is the only chance for him, and placing Messi to one side, because Fabregas each time last year replaced Villa in the wing. He doesn't respect the positional game of Barcelona that is so important, and he finished going to the middle. He's a player that has to play in the middle, or behind the striker, or in front of the holding midfielder, and there is not place. Xavi and Iniesta, I think they got still a little bit more level than Fabregas, even though Fabregas is a high-level player. But in Barcelona are so many.
They all are there, yes. OK, let's get over to La Rosaleda, Jerry Armstrong and Rob Palmer.
Day turns into night. Still sweltering heat on the Costa del Sol. It's the Habs, Barcelona, who can afford to leave the likes of Busquets and Neymar on the bench tonight against Malaga, who have gone through a bit of a crisis in the last 6 months or so. Sanctions against them, not allowed to play in European competition. Most of the high earners on the club's payroll have departed in the summer. It's a shell of the side that did so well last season, getting to the quarter-finals of indeed the Champions League. A spirited team with an awful lot of expat fans who are going to make it uncomfortable, Jerry, for Barcelona here tonight.
Well, they're going to try and make it uncomfortable for that man, Gerardo Tata Martino, but honestly, Rob, you only touched the iceberg there, the tip of the iceberg. Malaga have lost so many quality players and they're just trying to rebuild. If they can survive in the top half of La Liga this year, I think it's been a great season for them. And Barcelona are going from strength to strength. Even though they're missing one Lionel Messi tonight, they still have enough talent on show to score 2 or 3 goals against this Malaga side. But everybody behind the ball as we expected, Rob, for Malaga.
Well, as you know, Barcelona got off to an absolute flyer last week under their new coach, Tata Martino, getting 7 past very poor Levante team. You want Malaga's form against them? It isn't particularly good. Barca have won the last 10 games between these two sides. There's the teenager, Fabrice, only 17 years of age. And alongside him, twice his age, well, almost, is Roque Santa Cruz. Here is Fabrice. Tidy tackle by Adriano. He's playing on the right side of defence tonight. And the first shot of the evening coming in from Tissot, one of the summer recruits from Malaga.
Yeah, Tissot, ex-Mallorca player, played his football, a lot of football in Udinese. And this is silly play. Getting caught in possession on the edge of your own box. That's something you can't do too often. It's Mascherano. As we see Tissot's shot over the top. Yeah, he's an ex-Real Mallorca player, Udinese, Atlanta, Sampdoria. He's been around a few clubs, Rob.
Well, it's a spirited Malaga side, of course, under the management of a former Barcelona captain. In fact, Bernd Schuster was the captain of Barcelona when Terry Venables took them to the European Cup final back in the 1980s.
Yes. I think they lost on penalties, didn't they? To Steaua Bucharest.
It was your era, Jerry.
Yeah.
Ball swept wide to Alexis Sanchez. Step over. Shirt maybe been stretched for him by Antunes, who has signed permanently, came on loan last winter, the number 5. He replaced Nacho Monreal in the left-back position.
He's done well, Antunes, since he's come in.
With a corner, Song with a header. Playing the part of the midfield enforcer tonight, Alex Song. Busquets is given a break.
Well, they feel they can rotate the squad and obviously rest the likes of Neymar and Tello, Dani Alves, Busquets. I mean, they've rested 4 or 5 players ahead of what they see as a tough second leg against Atletico Madrid, who have proven they're a really awesome side. If they need the likes of Busquets or Neymar and Tello, they can obviously bring them off the bench. But I'd like to see them sign a permanent centre-half. I've been saying it for 2-3 years now, Rob, and it doesn't look as if it's going to happen again.
If you've just joined us, you'll, if you're a neutral at least, you'll be unhappy that Lionel Messi hasn't made the journey to southern Spain tonight. Neymar, who came on and of course scored in the Spanish Super Cup first leg in midweek, is again watching from the bench. Look at this, there's a break on this side if they have the belief, Malaga. Step over from Fabrice, and it has to be good handling from Valdez.
Very slick on the counter-attack from Malaga, something that we've seen them do in the past.
Last year's games both went the way of Barcelona. Here it was a 3-1 success. Second game of 2013 and the final game of the season. Barcelona crowned champions beat Malaga at the Camp Nou by 4-1. Well,
let's a look at the news. Right-sided striker Palowski, the young 20-year-old Rob they've recruited from Village Lodge, and I think they're buying some players for the future. They're getting some young talent in and hoping to develop them. Well, we've already mentioned Fabrice, who's 17 on the left side. He scored his first goal as a 16-year-old last season. Made him the youngest player to score in La Liga.
It's true. Mascherano to Song. Barcelona try to settle into the surroundings. Xavi, Iniesta. Cesc Fabregas wearing 4 in the central striking position tonight. Different dimension to Barcelona's play, but Fabregas, Jerry, last week, though Messi, of course, took the headlines with his goals.
No,
Fabregas was the instigator, wasn't he?
No, he was sensational. He was the best player in the park for me. I don't think anybody could argue who the man of the match was. Involved in, well, he created 4, maybe 5, if you want to look at his second last pass, but I mean 4 goals certainly attributed to him that he created, and he's the man that I've seen play in the Messi role towards the end of last season, and he really did take the mantle on and looked the part and has that ability.
So looking for Roque Santa Cruz. He's enjoying life in southern Spain, living in a villa just outside of Marbella.
Yeah, he was their top goal scorer last season with 12 goals. There's a seen a shot of Bernd Schuster there.
Bernd Schuster in that get-up looks as though he's just come off the Santana golf course.
He looked like that when I played against him when he was obviously at Barcelona and played with Diego Maradona. Quality player he was as well, and he's done well as a coach.
The last time he managed against Barcelona, he beat them 4-1 as the Real Madrid boss, and that was the night that Real secured the title. Beat Real Madrid, of course, he got the sack about 6 months later. There's Fabregas trying to flip it over the top into the periphery of Pedro. Arlovski. Gomez in support, and this young man with the blonde hair, the Polish international, has excited a lot of fans down on this coast. They've been dying to see him. It's taken a while for him to get his permit. Came through on Thursday, straight into the team, and we're told that he is an entertainer. Mascherano. Fabregas, poor pass by him. Sergio Sanchez, Camacho, Arlovski. 3 to beat. Stopped at first base by Jordi Alba, who returns to the team. PK, small missing Puyol alongside him. Puyol has a knee problem. I think we're going to see him in fits and starts this season, the Barca captain. It's interesting what we were reading today, Jerry, about Rafael Marquez and the centre-half situation, the Mexican who played here for a number of years.
Yeah, Mexican international was centre-half, and he said, you know, stop all the nonsense and buy a centre-half, put a proper centre-half in, and it'll save all the problems. I just feel that they can get away with it in a lot of the games with Mascherano at the back and PK, but when push comes to shove and they come against quality players and quality sides, I'm talking Champions League quarter, semi-finals, I think that's when they'll get found out. Or maybe against a Real Madrid or an Atletico Madrid.
Alexis Sanchez feeding the ball for Adriano.
Good play.
Goal kick given.
Another player I like, Adriano, can play anywhere virtually in the back four. Well, Vicente Del Bosque, national manager. Strong from Tassoni, used his body to get himself in between Adriano and the ball. But Adriano, we've seen him playing at left back, we've seen him playing at right back, we've seen him playing centre half. But he can play anywhere in midfield as well. Very versatile player.
Uli Caballero, who of course is the favourite of the former coach Pellegrini.
He's great, isn't he? Caballero has had 2 or 3 really good seasons for Malaga, but he was at fault last week in the game I did against Valencia. He's come to collect the ball over the head of his centre half and should have punched it, I thought, and he dropped the ball onto the head of centre half and the ball fell free, and that was where the goal came from.
It's a poor clearance from the Argentinian keeper as well. Now Alexis with a big chance. He's a long way round Caballero, but he's snared by the linesman's flag.
That must have been tight, and I think Willy Caballero will breathe a sigh of relief. As you say, taking a risk. Well, he's, wow, is he level? The linesman felt he was offside. He looked level when the ball was made, and I think the fact that Sanchez puts his hand up maybe helps him get that decision, but a very, very tight call.
That's from the Tony Adams school of offside calls. Convince the linesman he'll go with you.
Well, 2 new centre-halves, really, Anglieri and Sergio Sanchez in central defence, and lacking, well, they're missing Wellington, who's gone, had an operation. He's going to be out for a couple of months. Di Michelis has gone and joined Atletico Madrid. So we're starting all over again. This fantastic Malaga side, who entertained us so much.
Yeah, it's a great club. They had the riches of the royal family from Sheikh Abdullah Al Thani. Of course, put around 100 million euros into the club. Actually brought in 39 players. But the new coach in charge doesn't have those riches. He spent 3.6 million in the summer, and they recoup 37 million.
Yeah, well, they've sold all the talent, haven't they? Isco was the star man. He joined Real Madrid and probably scored the winner there. A couple of star players as well, all quality players. You look at Busquets and you look at Dani Alves and Tello. A lot of quality on that bench.
Mascherano wasn't appealing for offside there. Fabrice was lurking just behind him. Can't be offside in your own half, can you?
Absolutely.
Couldn't be offside.
Absolutely.
Well, it's been even because I think there's been one questionable decision for either side.
We can talk all the one about goal line technology, Rob, but there's more debatable decisions on offsides in every game I watch every week than anything else. How do you solve that problem?
Here's Mascherano. Alexis in a very wide position tonight. Adriano. Fabregas. Little touch from Iniesta, cleared by Sergio Sanchez.
Getting very close now at Barcelona to breaking down the stubborn Malaga defence. And just poor control there from Andres Iniesta.
Malaga did pride themselves last year, Jerry, on a mean defence early in the season. They had 8 clean sheets in their opening 13 games.
Well, they made it difficult last week. I did the game against Valencia at the Mestalla, and they worked really, really hard. I was disappointed with Valencia in some senses, but then again they've lost Soldado and some of their talent. But here we go. It's Cesc.
Fabregas leads the charge. Waits for the support. Oh, what a cheeky little ball that was, right across the 6 yards. Has to be said that he's brilliant defended by Antunes to nip in ahead of Alexis. Barcelona won't go away. Once more the instigator is Fabregas. Albert doesn't get a corner. Balowski does very well for Malaga. They've taken him 14 minutes into his debut, this young man. Let's flip over the top. They're really stretching Malaga at the moment, who are digging deep mentally and physically.
Lovely combination play between Fabregas, who's really come into the game in the last few minutes, and Pedro. Lovely little 1-2. Pedro trying to cut it back, and defender gets in the way. They get a corner kick.
Well, Barcelona don't have a great deal of height and physical menace in situations like this. They have to rely on craft. Piqué is the obvious target. He's beaten to the ball by Camacho. Caballero and his defenders enjoyed 13 clean sheets in La Liga last season, 20 in all competitions.
Well, this is a little cutback from Cesc. He's clever and he plays a disguise pass, and then when the ball's cut back, almost a chance for Alexis Sanchez. I think every time Cesc gets the ball in that final third, it spells danger for Malaga as well. He comes in, well, he clears his lines. Sweeper keeper.
Puts that into the director's box. I'm just wondering whether a ticket was reserved for a Mr. G. Bale tonight, who's holidaying down on the Costa del Sol.
So how long is it before he goes to Madrid?
Well, he's injured, isn't he? Gareth Bale, and he's been celebrity spotted down in the port, just outside Marbella. Maybe taking the likes of the La Sala bar tonight, where the footballers tend to hang out.
I thought you were going to say that's where the physio is to help that injury.
Sea water, Jerry, that works wonders. Here's Son. They've started selling the Gareth Bale shirts in Madrid. The podium has been erected, and all of the suggestions are that the unveiling would take place on Tuesday. Here's Adriano. Alexis Sanchez. I have to say that Schuster has set his side out well tonight. Xavi. Iniesta. Song. Alexis. Roque Santa Cruz did score against Barcelona last year in the Copa del Rey. Had a good season. He's the joint leading scorer with Isco, with 12 goals in all competitions. 12 goals in 15 starts. Mind you, many of his goals when he came on as an impact sub. Started 15 and came on in 15.
I think we can safely say Isco's goals were slightly more sensational though, Rob, you know? Lewandowski working really hard at the back here.
Referee keeping a low profile. No foul given. This is Xavi. Adriano puts the ball in, and cushioned header by Fabregas.
It's a good header though, I have to say. Trying to lob it over the far side of the goalkeeper. Would have been a rare headed goal, wasn't it, from Cesc? You don't see too many of those.
Referee gives the advantage to Barcelona. It's a brilliant ball through. Oh, just a slight miscontrol from Pedro.
That's twice, Rob. Twice. I mean, he's clean through. What a great pass this is. Good advantage from the referee. Great ball from Cesc, and his first touch lets him down, Pedro. The same thing happened with Iniesta 5 minutes ago, and again they're edging closer to getting the opening goal. Well, he was stretched a wee bit, Willie, there, wasn't he?
Alexis Sanchez sends out Tunis, who refuses to give up the chase.
This is it, first touch, if it's better first touch from Pedro. He's round the goalkeeper, and it's the opening goal. All the goals are all the goal-scoring chances created by Cesc Fabregas in this opening 20 minutes.
You have to say, a feed like that to Lionel Messi would have probably ended in a goal, or even David Villa, who vacated that number 7 shirt for Pedro in the summer.
Yeah. Saying that, Pedro's been in good form towards the last third of the season. He was their joint top goal scorer pre-season with 4 goals, Pedro, he and Messi. And you would expect a better touch from the Spanish international than that, Rob.
This is Song. Xavi. Malaga have endured a lot of passing in front of them, but not too many clear-cut chances for Barcelona. In fact, I think we see a graphic of the chances in the game. They're probably shared between the two sides.
I've been watching the movement of Cesc Fabregas to see how he creates space here, Rob.
There is Fabregas, teasing the defenders, a little pirouette. One back by Polowski.
It looked like he was fouled as well.
Ball hit long. Fabrice waiting for any mistake made by Mascherano. You'll see a lot of people head back from the Costa del Sol and their Spanish sunshine holidays with the Barcelona shirt, though it has to be said, with the natives in this part of Spain, Real Madrid are the big team. There are 35 Real Madrid Peñas in southern Spain. They're the supporters clubs. Barcelona doesn't go down well, particularly. Adds an edge to it. So, let's say, brings to the referee's attention the fact that he's been floored there by Mascherano.
Well, he's only put his hands on him, that's all. He really has made a meal of it, honestly. He's put his hands and his arm on him, and look at the reaction.
And it was the cry that went with it as well.
It's almost an art form now, isn't it?
Sergio Sanchez. Fabrice. Well handled by Adriano. Cristiano. Interesting quotes this week from the new Barcelona manager. Martino's saying that he feels that Gareth Bale's transfer shows a lack of respect for the world we live in economically. 100 million euros, just short of.
It's a lot of money.
I just wonder what he thinks of leaving a 57 million euro signing on the bench.
That's another story, though, isn't it?
Maybe that's a political statement as well.
Well, maybe they're just trying to ease him into the side, you know, and he wasn't well through the summer. He came on and made an impact against Atletico Madrid when they were struggling on Wednesday night. Robbie was very clever at the far post, got his opening goal for Barcelona when they needed it.
Mascherano. A lot of freedom here for Fabregas. Sanchez stops him in his tracks. Here's Dada. Xavi. Not too many options. Fabregas is one. Now Alexis Sanchez. Back to Fabregas. Iniesta to Son. There was a foul after the ball had been played, and the referee has a word with Tissot.
Well, Tissot does come in a little bit late, catches him. It's not a bad challenge, but it's a late challenge, and he let one go earlier, and the referee feels, Senor Mateo Laoz, that he has to pull this one up. Thought similar situation to Fabregas, and he's talking about it a few minutes earlier. He didn't give the free kick when Fabregas lost possession, and I think he felt that should have been a free kick. A little bit too far for Xavi to go for goal, but I wonder have they got another ploy or plan. The two back guys up, Son and Piqué.
Well anticipated by Sergio Sanchez, who's holding the defence together very well tonight for Malaga. And again, there he is. Wasn't always a favourite with the fans when he first signed, Sergio Sanchez, but he's won the hearts and the minds of the Malaga fans. Just over a quarter of the game gone. Last week at this point, Barcelona were just about to go 4-0 up against Levante. Fabregas, little off, fine tackle from Camacho. And Rocky Santa Cruz is bowled over by Alex Son.
He's a good target man, Rocky Santa Cruz, and he needed that little bit of a respite under the cosh. Certainly Barcelona dominating possession.
Very familiar, of course, with the opposing coach tonight, the Paraguayan international. Martino was his boss.
Absolutely.
Together they helped Paraguay get to the quarter-finals of the World Cup. He has a little sly look at another off-the-ball incident there. Jordi Alba was floored. Iniesta. And credit to Malaga, they've lost the likes of Joaquin, Toulon, Isco, Saviola, Baptista, Demi Kellis. All the big earners were allowed to leave in the summer. They've shopped around. Is it more a tighter budget these days for Malaga? There seems to be real togetherness about this team as well. Iniesta drops the shoulder, great feet. Can he get a shot on goal? He can, but simple save for Caballero.
Well, he has got great feet, Andres Iniesta. We see him dancing through challenges like this before. Just the skill's great, but the finish is pretty straightforward. It's straight down the middle. I don't think Willie Caballero is going to lose out to one of those shots.
Dramatic forward from Belovski. A free kick suffice.
Well, linesman's given that one, Rob. He was much closer, let's say. Well, it's late, and I think Belovski has made the most of the challenge, let's say. And that's the shot that was easy for Willie Caballero. You have to say Andres Iniesta's not a prolific goal scorer.
Just the 6 goals last season. He's got that big one in the World Cup final though in 2010.
Oh, they don't get any bigger than that. Cometh the art, cometh the man, I think.
Well, it's a massive opportunity here for Malaga. Angleri has crossed the halfway line for the first time this evening. And Tunis stands over the ball. Valdez aware that he can't afford any spillages. Oh, he keeps it out. Excellent save by Victor Valdez.
Well, he had his angles well covered. Great strike from Antunes. That was heading for the near post. And Victor Valdez gets down very quickly, collapses here. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, that was creeping in.
Very clever free kick. Went for the gap. Sanchez with a header.
Sanchez and Rocky Santa Cruz got on each other's way. And I think that's an area that Barcelona will always struggle on because of the lack of genuine height they have in the side.
I can say by Victor Valdez had a quiet game last week. I'm just wondering, going through his mind is the fact that Iker Casillas' future is uncertain. Casillas hasn't started a league game for Real Madrid, by the way, Jerry, since the end of January.
Well, you wonder what Ancelotti obviously has thought. He's obviously made a decision on what he's seeing. And maybe he agrees with Jose Mourinho.
Sanchez taken down. And the referee keeping his cards dry. Antunes with a foul, but then kicking the ball away. Could have earned him a yellow card.
Yep, he's very fortunate. And he's very unlucky here. This was a great save. Just look, it was 6 inches inside the near post, and would have been a shock lead, but I'm sure Malaga would have been very grateful for it.
The only time, you know, that Victor Valdez has ever conceded 5 goals for Barcelona was against Malaga.
2004 or 5?
2003, December.
It was a long time ago.
Almost cost Frank Rijkaard his job. He turned it around the latter part of that season. Alexis looks pleadingly. Referee United as assistant there to give the free kick. Goalkeeper screaming at his defenders, making sure that everybody is in the right place. It's a high line they're keeping.
Two-footed player, Adriano, on the ball. Looks like he's going to swing it in with his left foot, Rob.
Good defender from Tison. Camacho miskicks them. Adriano can go left or right. Mascherano. Iniesta. Fabregas. Everything has gone down the centre of the field for Barcelona tonight. They haven't used that left-hand side at all.
The first chance they created, Rob, was obviously down the left with Jordi Alba getting in. That clever movement from Cesc Fabregas. And again, I feel they're going to have to drag the defenders about. I'm watching Fabregas' movement. He's coming off the 2 centre-backs and getting the ball in between the anchor man in midfield for Malaga and the 2 centre-backs. That's where the space is for him. And once he's turned and he's running with the ball, he's a problem.
Piqué. Adriano. Alowski does well. Mascherano. Chevy. Alexis Sanchez. Tunis. I tell you what, he has been one of the signings of the last 6 months, this left back. He came in for Nacho Monreal and they weren't weakened, Vitorino and Tunis. It's his 8th club. He came last season on his 5th loan. Yeah. He's finally found a permanent home.
Yeah, he's done well. We've seen him play and he's done exceptionally well, I think, for Malaga under the circumstances. Alexis, though, I think Alexis has had a couple of times he's had half a yard. He wants to do a little bit too much. He could have got the cross in early and decided he wanted to check back. It's a good turn.
Good control from Alexis over the head of Fabregas. Sergio Sanchez fighting everybody. His own teammates. Flying tackle from Adriano. Iniesta. Excellent feet again. Xavi helps it on. Pedro. Alba to Son. Xavi. Fabregas. Neat feet. Well done from Anguilera, the central defender. Wasn't seen too much in his Sunderland days. Had a miserable time up in the northeast of England.
He had a few injuries as well, Anguilera, so we're seeing a little bit better performances from him and Sanchez. A corner kick to defend now.
Santa Cruz aiding his defence. Tunis. Great run, but Mascherano just stands his ground and stops Camacho in his tracks.
Yeah, the ball was intended for Fabrice on the left-hand side. Very unfortunate. But again, you can see they're absorbing the pressure. They've got 5 dropping in midfield. They're only leaving Santa Cruz, Rocky Santa Cruz up front. And then they hit on the break, which is something we've seen Malaga do very well over the last season or two.
Pedro. Tata Martino marching up and down the coaching zone. Bernd Schuster can hardly bear to look. Turn from Fabregas. Cleverly cut inside to Alexis Sanchez. Sanchez gets the cross in. Emergency action taken by James Gomez.
I know he's gone to the byline and cut it back, Rob, but you know he's got a half a yard again, Alexis, and I thought go for goal. You know, and if it's a deflection or the keeper makes a save, then players coming in on the rebound can do something about it. This is it here. He's got the yard. He takes an extra touch too many for me. And yes, there's the one coming in looking on the end of it. That's what they do when Messi's playing. They cut it back for Messi. Messi's not playing tonight.
Mascherano. Alexis. Fabregas. Excellent challenge by Sergio Sanchez. Had to be. Santa Cruz caught in the maze. Iniesta. Really reticent passer, it seems, to make that pass out to the left-hand side. Alba to Pedro. Iniesta teaser to Fabregas, teases it in, and Caballero makes a good save. It was unnecessary then because it appeared that Alexis Sanchez was offside.
Well, I'd like to see it again. It was really tight. Willie Caballero didn't know if he was offside or not. He's got to make the save. Yeah. But you can see he is offside. But the ball goes to Cesc. Clever header straight back into the danger area. Well done, Willie Caballero, though. And again, good movement from Cesc Fabregas. He's pulled out on this right-hand side. I told you about him coming, dropping deep in the middle, Rob, and he's out on the left, so he's got a little bit of a free roll up front, much the same as Lionel Messi would have. And he's creating a few problems, but no goals yet for Barcelona after 36 minutes.
Xavi. Fabregas. Excellent movement. Fabregas has it taken off his toe. That will go for a corner.
Still a big save for Willy Caballero.
Absolutely. Makes him feel unbeatable. He has been so far as we approach half-time.
Interesting for me there, the challenge on Cesc in that position was from Fabrice.
Desperate to get things moving, maybe to catch Barcelona on a counter-attack. It's a 4-on-4 situation if the right pass can be made. Dada goes wide to Gomez. Alba in the way, the home supporters pleading for a free kick. Several people are on holiday in this part of the world from the UK, wondering whether they could get tickets tonight, and then complaining that it was €70 a ticket. Well, Malaga have pumped up the prices, and you're getting your value for money's worth if you're inside the stadium.
Certainly is. A little touch there, and it certainly hits him on the side, and his arm's up there.
Well, the last few seasons we have been told in Spain, Jerry, haven't we, that a handball is a mandatory yellow card.
But it's been relinquished now. They've changed it in the summer, so that's maybe why he hasn't been booked. But there's still idiots in the crowd and on the pitch that are asking the referee to book him. Just let the referee do his job.
And Tunis again over the ball, teases it in. Corner Malaga. And with man, woman and child behind that goal that Malaga are attacking, get to their feet. Domestic dispute to sort out between Fabrice and Jordi Alba. Alba acting as the doorman for his goalkeeper. Heads up, Song nods away. Tissot wins it back. You can see from the body language of Martino that he's uncomfortable with the way that his team are playing. And they're raining in shots, Malaga.
He's got to be happy, I have to say, Bernd Schuster, because his side have done exactly what he wanted them to do. Work hard and close Barcelona down, not allow them to settle on the ball. That snapshot is going wide at the near post, but we're starting to get more and more possession in this latter stages of the first half, Rob, and it's encouraging.
You can see this new Malaga team growing in confidence. The fear factor of Barcelona has evaporated.
Well, the right decision. It was kicked off the leg of Fabrice, and the referee Mateo Leoz has got that one spot on.
It's been a heady couple of years for Malaga Club de Football. Fourth in 2012, their best ever record, 58 points. Took them into the Champions League qualifiers. They breezed through that last year. Got as far as the quarter-finals to lose only to Dortmund. Also made it to the quarter-finals of the Copa del Rey, where Barcelona beat them. They finished, despite their off-the-field troubles, in a creditable 6th position. Sergio Sanchez. Tissoni. Didn't have the strength to play the pass he wanted to Golovski. Pedro.
Good tackle.
Now Xavi. Piqué. 75% possession to Barcelona.
Yeah, but not too many shots on target against.
Well, the big stats is the opportunities count, and I think they've been pretty square. Here's Fabregas, but a fine tackle by Anglieri.
Oh, it's a quality run from Zest there. It's coming from a deep position and just explodes in between Pisoni and Antunes, but good cover as well, I have to say.
Well, he's been given license clearly to lead the line tonight, says Fabregas.
6 corners for Barcelona.
Xavi's corner, Piqué's header. Oh, Caballero hangs on at the third attempt.
I think he's just thankful that Pedro didn't react to the first one. Bobby gets Piqué, good header, just bounces in front of Willie. He's happy to get a hold of it in the end.
Song. Slicing the ball.
He can't keep it out. Wonderful strike. And heartbreak for Malaga, what, with a minute to half-time?
I do think, though, Jerry, it's one that's going to be filed under goalkeeper's mistakes.
Yeah. He doesn't care, though. Tata Martino will be very grateful for that goal.
Can they get a quick second? Alexis Sanchez. Twiston for the first time tonight, loses Antunes, not for long. Anglieri.
Do you know when he gets past him the first time, Rob, why does he want to come back again? He's already got half a yard past him, get a strike and a goal. You don't need to come back onto your left foot again. This is the strike.
Well, it was hit and hope, wasn't it?
There's 2 players in front of him. I'm not saying he's not at fault for it. I'm sure he's going to blame himself anyway. But there was 2 blue shirts of his own players in front of him, and I'm sure he was slightly unsighted. But Willie will be disappointed.
Willie Caballero, Jerry's a bit of a folk hero in these parts, but for the second week in a row, it's been a mistake by the Malaga goalkeeper, which has cost the team. They have contained Barca for 44 minutes of the game, but a slip allowed Adriana to score the only goal of the first half.
Yes, and Bernd Schuster would have been sitting there on the bench thinking he's got his tactics spot on. But there's nothing a coach can plan.